Do you want to start your own online business? If yes, then this video is for you. Hey guys, it's Sunskriti and I'm back with another video. So since most of you must already know, I have my own online handmade business on Etsy. I make and sell hand embroidery and digital downloads of my hand embroidery patterns. Here are a few of my works. So I started selling on Etsy in June 2020, not too long ago, and in these 2-3 months of selling on Etsy, I've learned a lot more than I initially thought would go into selling online, especially selling handmade stuff online. So if you're interested in knowing what are the pros, what are the cons, what about shipping, stuff like that, then please continue watching. I'm going to be answering all of those questions in this video. So first, let's start with a bit of a backstory. So I have been making hand embroidery since March 2020 and right now we're in August, so not too long ago. I decided to make it into a business considering how much time and effort I'm putting into making each piece. Plus, because I've made over 80 designs and I really thought that people would like to purchase them and have them in their homes too. So first of all, when you're creating a business, you need to have your objective clear. When you're starting your own store, you need to have your target customer in mind. Most people who get an idea of starting an online store, they don't take all of these things into consideration. They don't realize that you need to know who your target customer is before you go ahead and make products. For example, when I started, I wasn't sure what hand embroidery comes into the category of. Hand embroidery serves as wall hangings, room decor, etc. And when I started hand embroidery, I just saw it as a fun project that I like to do. So I didn't understand the categories that hand embroidery comes into, which is a very important thing that most people should understand about their products. So before starting your own business, especially handmade, you need to consider where you want to sell. There are so many different websites. There's an option of creating your own website. So which path should you take? So in my personal opinion, you should go with Etsy. I am an Etsy seller. I've been selling since 3 months. My experience so far has been pretty good. There are other places like Shopify, Redbubble, and other many different platforms that you can sell on. But for me personally, Etsy is a perfect fit because Etsy promotes handmade businesses. So choosing a website depends completely on what kind of business are you planning to start. If your business is handmade, then I would definitely recommend Etsy. In fact, if you decide to open a shop on Etsy, I have a link down below with which you can put your first 40 items for free on Etsy. So if you're interested, then just click the link below to get that. The next thing to consider after you have decided the platform you want to sell on and your customer profile, it is important to know what is your cost of production and how you need to price your products. So when it comes to cost of production, you need to calculate everything, not only the cost of the items that are needed to make your commodity, but also the time and effort that you're putting into making it, since you're a handmade business. Like for example, the cost of production for this, if I include time, is so much because it takes so much time and effort into making a single piece of embroidery. Same goes with people who are artists and craftsmen. It takes so much time into creating a single commodity. You need to include all of that in your price. There are many different pricing tactics on the internet, but it's up to you to choose what's right for you. In my case, since I'm doing hand embroidery, this is the method I prefer the most. So I take into consideration my cost of production multiplied by the amount of hours I've spent making it. So for example, this embroidery took me 5 hours to make. So if per hour, let's say I'm charging $5, that's not the actual amount because I calculate in rupees because I'm Indian, but let's take an example of $5 and I spent 5 hours on it. So $5 per hour makes it $25 for 5 hours. Plus the cost of production, that is your total cost of making your product. That's not the price of your product, it's just the cost that it took you to make the product. On top of that, you need to include shipping. If you're charging free shipping, you will have to include some shipping price into your product cost. On top of that, you have to include the cost that whatever platform you decide to sell on is going to take from you, because obviously no platform is going to let you sell for free. There are certain costs that go into selling on each platform, which is something you definitely need to consider. On Etsy, it costs 20 cents to list one item, which is 14 rupees in my currency, INR, which is really inexpensive. But there are other fees involved, like so for example, I'm selling this embroidery. When it sells, Etsy takes 5% of whatever you have earned from selling this embroidery. That includes your shipping. I charge $15 shipping because that's how much it costs me to ship all throughout the world. And I charge free shipping in my country, which I think is a great tactic. If you're selling only to your country, you should always charge free shipping. Another thing to consider about pricing is your profit margin. If you keep a 10% profit margin, let's say your total cost was $10 and you're keeping a 10% profit margin, so technically that would make you sell your item for $11, right? That's not how it works. Along with your profit margin, you need to also consider that since it's a business, it's not just a 2-month or 3-month plan, it's a proper business. You need to consider how much you take out of your business and how much you invest back into your business as capital. So you should keep twice the profit margin that you intend to actually sell your products at. For example, you're making an item for $10. You want to keep a 10% profit margin, which is $1. Multiply the 10% into 2, so basically 20%, which means $2 extra. So you sell your product at $12. Now a bit about shipping. So since I recently started myself, shipping was a big factor that I had to consider, because Etsy is primarily a US based company and I'm from India, halfway across the world, literally on the other side. So for me, if I have to ship to US, it charges a lot to ship to US. So you need to consider what shipping carriers you're going to be using and if you can get any deal out of shipping through them. For example, I contacted 2 or 3 shipping carriers. I'm not going to take the names, but their shipping charges were 5,000 Indian rupees, which actually put me under a lot of scare because I charged $15, which is barely 1,000 rupees. So I was very confused, like now what do I do? But then finally I figured out a better shipping carrier. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the shipping carrier or not, but it's all about research. You need to find a way that you can ship better and ship to your target customers. Another point to consider is SEO and marketing tactics. So SEO means search engine optimization. When you type a keyword into Etsy, that's how people find your products. For example, this item is a landscape embroidery. So in my title, the word landscape and embroidery must be there for it to be found. If I title this as wall decor, it will still be found, but not necessarily are people looking for this to decorate their wall. So you need to find the perfect title and the perfect keywords that suit what you're making. If you want, I can make a full video on that because I've actually used really good titles for this. It's ranking really high in SEO, so I can make a video about SEO if you would like. To summarize, you need to know what platform you want to go with. That's number one. You need to select the perfect platform for you. You need to find out who your target audience is, because without a target audience, who are you going to give your products to? Who are you selling to? In correlation, you need to do proper marketing and you need to have proper SEO, because even if you have found your target customers, that doesn't mean your product is going to reach them. They're not going to be able to see your product unless you market it and title it well. Then the next thing you also need to consider is pricing and how you're going to actually ship the products, so shipping costs, etc. Please keep in mind that everything I've mentioned in this video is not the only things that you need to consider when you start an online business. There are many more things that go into starting an online business, like your product photography and stuff like that. So I can definitely make this a series where I explain more into depth about each topic I've already touched on. I'll also be linking my shop down below in case you want to have a look at my titles or my photos or anything like that. So that is all that I have for you guys today. I really hope that it wasn't too much rambling and that you understood whatever I tried to say. If you have any questions based on this, then please let me know either in the comments down below or text me on Instagram or even on Etsy, and let me know what you would like me to make a video about next. If this video is helpful at all, then please leave a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that, and also subscribe if you would like to see more videos based on Etsy or marketing or stuff like that. That is it. I will see you next week. Bye.